We are WHUUF. When life gives us lemons, we make lemonade. We're the beloved community, and we don't let some global pandemic change that. When a hateful man threatens our world or anyone else's, we write hundreds of postcards. We reclaim the vote. We UU the vote. And when some people don't get that Black Lives Matter, we remind them a lot. Together, but appropriately and safely social distanced. Because where there is a will, there is always a way. When we see a cloud, we don't just look for the silver lining, we become the freaking rainbow. And when social distance and our regular annual auction can't happen together, after only a moment or two of panic, we figure out a way to overcome. We let our natural UU proclivity to ask millions of questions lead us to a different path, a new way to make it happen. We look on the bright side, and we plan WHUUF's very first pants-optional auction online. Mark your calendars to join us from Sunday, October 18th through Saturday, October 24th to support WHUUF by bidding in the silent auction portion of the event. Then, join us for a live finale event that Saturday on Zoom. In the meantime, we need you and everybody else to consider the limitations of this time, but then join us on the bright side and think of something amazing to donate. Stay tuned for more information, but plan on joining us on the bright side this October.
Sometimes I wake up with the sadness, other days it feels like madness. So what would I do without you? When colors turn to shades of gray, with the weight of the world at the end of the day, what would I do without you? A decade goes by without a warning, and there's still a kindness in your eyes. Amidst the questions and the worry, a peace of mind always takes me by surprise. I feel like I'm walking with eyes as blind as a man without a lantern in a coal mine. What would I do without you? My imagination gets the best of me, and I'm trying to hide, lost at sea. What would I do without you? The difference between what I've said and done, and you're still standing by my side. A guilty soul and a worried mind. I will never make it if I'm on my own. So you got the morning, I got midnight. You are patient, I'm always on time. Oh, what would I do without you? You got your sunshine, I got rain clouds. You got hope, I got my doubts. So what would I do without you? Oh, what would I do without you? Oh, what would I do without you?
Good morning, and welcome to this virtual service of West Hills Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, affectionately known as WHUUF. I am the Reverend Tracy Springberry, and it is my great pleasure to serve this warm and loving congregation. I use the pronouns she and her. We welcome and celebrate all who choose to worship with us, whoever you are. Wherever you were born, whatever your age, your abilities, your talents, the color of your skin, whomever you love, however you identify your gender, if you choose to, you are welcome here with us this morning. You're welcome if you come today with joy of this beautiful summer day, or with your heart broken, with all the events of the past week, with the own struggles of your own heart. You are all welcome, no matter where you are and who you are. And if you're new to this community, we especially extend a welcome to you. We invite you to go to our website and our Facebook page and learn more about us. And we invite you to join us for coffee hour. You can email our administrator, and she will send you the link to our coffee hour. And for everyone else, we really encourage you to come to coffee hour. It is a time when we do joys and sorrows. It's a time when we share our thoughts about the service, and we go into breakout rooms and just get to touch in a little more deeply with one another. That's really important during this time when we're physically separate. And be sure to look at all your announcements in your order of service to know how you can be more connected to our community. I will light this chalice this morning with the help of my daughter, Ella Avery. We light this chalice. This reading is from the Reverend Lois Van Leer. We light this chalice on the brink of a new year, letting go of what has been, open and hopeful for what may come, renewed, restored, ready to live life fully anew. Let us move forward with intention. Please join us in reading our affirmation. Let us open our eyes to see what is beautiful. Let us open our minds to learn what is true. Let us open our hearts to love one another.
Stirrings of compassion, blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, set me free. Apply me to me. I did it. I did it.
Mighty Ella and Her Superdog Save Cheese, written by me, Reverend Tracy, and my daughter Ella Avery. Mighty Ella and her superdogs were always ready to make the world a better place with their superpowers. Ella bounded across obstacles, Simba hugged, Chloe escaped, Nala explored, Bella dug, Cooper pushed, and Bo Jingle slept. One day when they were training hard and Ella was beginning to think about lunch, the phone rang. Mighty Ella? The girl on the other end was crying. Yes, Ella replied. The cheese is gone, the girl cried. We've looked everywhere. In the fridge, at my grandma's, at the store. It's all gone. How will we make lunch? No cheese? Ella was alarmed. She was planning on macaroni and cheese for lunch. A second call came immediately. All the cheese has disappeared. Kids are protesting in the park, demanding grilled cheese sandwiches. The little kids are crying for cheese sticks. Please do something. Juan was worried. My sister will starve without quesadillas. She doesn't eat anything else. There is no cheese on the pizza, Mia shouted. The city is in an uproar. Everyone is in their cars looking for pizza. Traffic has stopped. It's an emergency. The phone kept ringing. Ella stopped answering. This was serious. What would they have for lunch? She whistled for her superdogs. They came bounding across the park. Nala, explore, Ella commanded. Find the cheese. Nala explored by sniffing here and there. Then she began to bark and run. Mighty Ella and the other superdogs followed. They ran past many restaurants. All had signs in their windows that read, "No cheese." After a long way, Nala stopped and barking frantically in front of a door. Ella could not open it. "Chloe," she said. In a flash, Chloe had used her escape superpower to find a way through the door. They bounded down the stairs. Flight after flight after flight. At the bottom, they found the cheese. It was stacked to the ceiling, crowding the room. How would they get through? Dig, Ella said to Bella. Bojingles, Ella said, we need a dream. Who stole the cheese? Bojingles began to nap and twitch. They all helped Bella dig through the cheese. They found Ella's favorite cheeses, cheddar and Monterey Jack. They also found mozzarella from Italy, Havarti from Denmark, feta from Greece, labneh from Jordan. After a while, Bojingles spoke. He pointed the way. Paneer from India, tonko from Chile, queso fresco from Mexico, chana from Tibet, badu from Ethiopia, sakura from Japan. They felt they had walked all around the world when they came around a corner and startled a mouse twice the size of Ella. It growled. The superdogs growled back. It kept growling. Ella had to think fast. She needed to save cheese. What could she do? Her superpower to jump obstacles did not seem particularly helpful. Then she had a brilliant idea. She reached into her backpack and pulled out her second favorite food. Would you like some? She offered. Cucumber? The mouse stopped growling. You want to share cucumbers? Of course, Ella said. She handed him one. They each took a bite. Delicious, said the mouse. I grew them in my garden, said Ella. Why did you steal the cheese? My family needed something to eat, the mouse said. So you stole all the cheese in the world? We might run out, said the mouse. Ella looked closely at the mouse. The mouse looked tired and worried. Simba, Ella said, I think the mouse needs a hug. Bojingles, you can help. Simba, Bojingles, and Ella hugged the mouse. After a few minutes, the mouse relaxed and hugged back. You can have these, Ella said, placing a pile of cucumbers on the ground. I can? Asked the mouse. The children of the world are hungry for cheese, Ella continued. You can't have it all. We have to share. That's how things work. It's time for you to return the cheese, and time for me to go home. When Ella got home, her mom was just filling a plate with macaroni and cheese made with Ella's favorite blend of Colby and Monterey Jack. Ella ate it all. Spirit of love and life. Hold in love the people in California, Oregon, and other places who flee fire and smoke. Hold in love the people in Louisiana and Arkansas and Texas, dealing with floods and fallen trees and homes in the aftermath of Hurricane Laura. May they find strength to get through their days and survive. Hold Jacob Blake and his family, and the family of those killed in the protests by a white nationalist, in love. May love and justice for Black lives prevail. Care for those in economic hardship, for those grieving the deaths of loved ones, particularly from COVID-19, and for children, caregivers, and teachers who navigate the challenges of the new school year during this coming week. Take a moment and say out loud the names of the people that you are especially holding in your heart this morning. And now take a moment in prayer or meditation or reflection, as is your tradition.
The river is flowing, flowing and growing. The river is flowing down to the sea. Mother, carry me, child, I will always be. Mother, carry me down to the sea.
To Savor the World or Save It by Richard S. Gilbert. It's hard to know when to respond to the seductiveness in the world and when to respond to its challenge. If the world were merely seductive, that would be easy. If it were merely challenging, that would be no problem. But I arise in the morning, torn between the desire to improve the world and desire to enjoy the world. This makes it hard to plan the day. By E.B. White. I rise in the morning torn between the desire to save the world or to savor it, to serve life or to enjoy it, to savor the sweet taste of my own joy or to share the bitter cup of my neighbor, to celebrate life with exuberant step or to struggle for the life of the heavy laden. What am I to do when the guilt at my bounty clouds the sky of my vision? When the glow which lights my every day illuminates the hurting world around me? To savor the world or save it. God of justice, if such there be, take from me the burden of my question. Let me praise my plenitude without limit. Let me cast my eyes from all the troubled folk. No, you will not let me be. You will not stop my ears to the cries of the hurt and the hungry. You will not close my eyes to the sight of the afflicted. What is that you say? To save one must serve. To savor, one must save. The one will not stand without the other. Forgive me. In my preoccupation with myself, in my concern for my own life, I had forgotten. Forgive me, God of justice. Forgive me and make me whole.
It's okay, it's alright.
Every day go and do something that you like. Might be a little scared on your first time. By the second and the third one you might be brave.
Oh,
I was weak, now I'm strong, now I'm back, so here's my song. I had a peep, learn my all, it's alright, so have a ball.
okay.
It's alright. Every day gonna do something that you like. You might be a little scared, it's your first time, but by the second or the third one you might be braver.
Oh, sail my boat all through the sea, heard a little bit more sung by the bee.
The leaves, the trees, the breeze is nice, seas are the peas, it be the life.
On my walk, the walk to be, oh my spot, the spot for me.
Had a little hat crash, smash up the moon, passing a lap round back at the coon. Okay, it's alright. Every day go and do something that you like. Might be a little scared, it's your first time, but the second or the third one, I'm sure you'll be fine.
Oh,
Line of mine so fine with race, time in the sky so fine to lay. I was the guy, I found my might, flying it by a dynamite. Okay, it's alright.
it's okay, it's alright.
Okay, it's alright.
It's okay, it's alright.
Okay, it's alright.
It's 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 okay, it's alright.
This summer, I danced with my family. I collaborated with my daughter on a children's book. And I took a break from COVID-19, police brutality, and other oppressions, and climate change disasters. I stayed engaged with the issues. I did. I read How to Be an Anti-Racist by Ibram X. Kendi. I read Widening the Circle of Concern, the report by the UUA's Commission on Institutional Change on how to become a truly multicultural faith. I watched Twitter feeds as federal agents attacked and bullied Portland protesters. And I even went downtown once and meditated with the Buddhists. I called Congress and I wrote Kate Brown. I signed letters. I faithfully read the New York Times and the Washington Post and the Willamette Weekly. I attended to the painful debates about whether children should attend school this fall. I read as unemployment benefits and eviction protections ended, and Congress bickered and went on vacation. So it wasn't that I didn't know. Instead, there was just something about the sun and my porch and the blowing trees. I would find myself staring at the large fronds of fir trees just off my porch as they gently swayed across the blue sky. There was also something about my garden that was the best I've ever grown in years and produced sweet cucumber after sweet cucumber. My children flowed in and out of my days and weeks. We kayaked and swam and played games late into the night. My daughter and I baked peach cobbler weekly, or sometimes more often, as is our summer tradition. We watched Hamilton more than once. Bits and phrases of those songs got lodged in my head, causing us to replay the soundtrack daily. My daughter learned all the words to I Won't Throw Away My Shot. I devoured a very British, multi-generational mystery novel by one of my favorite writers, Kate Morton. It wasn't that I didn't care about what was happening in the world. I did. It was just that there was something about how beautiful the world is, and I was loving it. I leaned back and I just rested into loving the world. As I rested, it was as if the pain from the tragedy, all the uncertainty, the delusion, and sometimes cruelty eased, much like sore muscles in a hot bath. I have always felt the question posed by E.B. White and the Reverend Richard Gilbert in this morning's reading. Do I wake in the morning to save the world or to savor it? The weight of the world seems so heavy just now. Just this week, it is so heavy. California is burning more savagely than it has ever burned. One of the worst hurricanes in recorded history battered the Southeast. The fire, the water, the wind. This was predicted. It has been predicted for decades. If by that far out future that was 2020, we were told, if we did nothing about carbon emissions, the world would flood and it would burn. And that future is here now. Another unarmed black man was shot in the back by the police. And a white teenager walked into that same town with a gun slung around his neck. And he was not arrested until after he killed 2 people and injured others. It was as if millions of people rising up to say Black Lives Matter in June were screaming in a way that signified nothing. The economy continues to devastate the poorest. 21% of black and brown adults in the United States of America went hungry last week. Meanwhile, it became clearer than ever that in the United States, citizens do not agree on basic facts, such as if we are having a pandemic, or if it was a minor thing that is now over, or if the economy is flourishing, or if it is not, or if the president is pro or anti-immigrant. Calling into question how democracy or governing across difference is even possible. On this Sunday, the last Sunday in August, for years and years, I have celebrated chocolate and fruit communion with the congregations that I have served. This service is always a celebration of joy and gratitude. As each person comes forward, they are offered chocolate and fruit with the words, "For you, the sweetness of life." This season is the perfect time to celebrate such sweetness. Red tomatoes weigh down their green vines, and peaches come soft and melting off the trees. So much else ripens and comes sweet to the lips this time of year. How truly can life be, but miraculously good? It calls us to sing hallelujah, to offer praise, to savor this life, to love it. This seems the obvious reaction to late August in the Northwest. I am such a lucky and privileged person. Where I live, and where the people I most love live, there is no fire, and no raging wind and surging water. COVID-19 seems tame in my communities. People have suffered, but lived, and most haven't suffered much. I am in no danger of being killed by the police. I am not hungry. So I savor the joy of life easily. This summer I was able to turn down the pain of the world and simply rest in my love for it. I had the privilege to do that. Richard Gilbert speaks of feeling the guilt at my bounty. And I understand that. I watched the burning, flooding, and delusions this week from the comfort of my mother's home in Spokane. I worked in her secluded backyard, where you see me now, and only left to intertube down the Spokane River and eat with my oldest and closest friends. I sometimes feel guilty at my own bounty, at my own privileged ability to just rest and love this amazing world. But I cannot stop savoring and loving. How I appreciate Reverend Gilbert's cry in his poem, God of justice, if such there be, take from me the burden of my question. Let me praise my plentitude without limit. Let me cast from my eyes all troubled folk. But of course, Gilbert, the fine UU minister that he is, cannot. He writes, no, you will not let me be. You will not stop my ears to the cries of the hurt and the hungry. You will not close my eyes to the sight of the afflicted. I can rest, but like Gilbert, I cannot close my eyes and ears. Most of us cannot. Our hearts break. We are so sad. We are angry. We are confused. We flail. We despair. The world is full of suffering, even if we, in this moment, do not suffer. Our eyes do not close. But what of the question, to save the world or to savor it? How do we plan the day? What do you say? Gilbert asks the God of justice in his poem. Then speaks the answer. To save, one must serve. To savor, one must save. That one will not stand without the other. That is the truth, of course. It is our love of the world that makes our heart break. We may savor an organic orange picked just yesterday, bought at the farmer's market for $5 a pound. But what of the mother who does not have $2 to buy a bag of cheap rice to feed her children? Doesn't that family also deserve such a peach? Don't we want everyone to appreciate such bounty? Our home may be free of smoke. Don't we want everyone to have that? I agree with Gilbert. Savoring and saving are two sides of life. We are called to love and called to save what we love. Still, he does not answer White's question. How do I plan the day? I don't know about your email, but mine is full of opportunities. I can attend organizing calls and webinars. I can read articles and listen to videos. I can send money. I can sign petitions and make phone calls. I can go on marches and rallies. My television beckons with movies to help me understand the pain of the world. My friends in Kindle recommend books to unpack the suffering. Twitter and Facebook give me bite-sized analysis. The troubles of our world are so large. How do I decide what to do? I find it can be easy to shut down, to fall into mindlessness and frustration and apathy, or an endless focus on our own situation. To all the time focus on ourselves and our own need for rest, though becomes a thin, cloying sweetness. It becomes the myth of consumerism that surrounds us everywhere. Our individual happiness, we are told in that myth, is what matters the most. It can seduce us. It can offer us a way to look away when we don't know what to do or it just seems so difficult. But to love what we love and rest into it, we need this so much sometimes. I needed it this summer. When the uncertainty and fear and pain come, we need the nourishment of joy and beauty. We need laughter and we need fun. We were born to love life. We were also born to create and to change. We were born to connect to each other and to the natural world. We were born to weave the interconnected web. There is no full, complete life without both savoring and saving the world. The savoring energizes our life with what is good. Saving, the weaving, what is ripped and torn, gives us purpose and meaning. So how do we plan the day? We make time for it all. That is really what we are meant to do. To live our hours in the deep appreciation of life, and to give our hours to healing the torn strands in the web of life. Will we heal the web? Will we fix it? The suffering, the climate, our democracy? Will we grieve less, rage less? Can we make it better? I don't know. We don't know. When we plan the day, the outcomes don't matter. What we do matters. How we live our lives matters. Because we are human beings and we are called to love. To love ourselves. To love our earth. To love each other. When we love, we savor and we save. That is what love is. To savor and to save. And that is why I am so grateful to have returned from my time away, to be back in this community with you. What we do in religious community is remind each other what love is, and to help each other be loving people. How easy it is to forget to savor and rebuild the world, however. It is so easy to eat without noticing how pleasurable food is. To walk without paying attention to the wonder that is around us. To not spend time with the people we love the most, or to not really attend to them when we do. To respond to what we hear with fear and anger, and to despair. We so need each other. We need each other to laugh, to listen, to build, to create, to save. We need each other in order to plan the day. I am so grateful to be with you. And that gratitude makes today a joyful day. One where we each can be blessed with the sweetness of life. Even if today I cannot offer you chocolate and fruit, I offer you metaphorical chocolate and fruit. And maybe you will have some of your own today. I recommend it highly. Because together we savor the sweet. Together we save what is broken. And so today is truly a joyful day. So let us now sing to that joy.
3.
Now let us sing to the power of love. Sing, sing, now let us sing to the power of love. Sing, sing, lift up your voice. Sing to the power of love. Faith prevail, let us sing to the power of love. Oh, prevail, let us sing to the power of love. Oh, prevail, lift up your voice. Lift up your voice. Be not afraid. Sing to the power of love. Oh, prevail.
You got to sing to the power of love within. Don't you know you gotta sing to the power of the love within. Lift up your voice, oh no, don't be afraid. Oh, don't you know you gotta sing to the power of love. Sing to the power of love. Sing to the power of love. Of love. Oh, sing to the power of love.
As we prepare to gratefully give and receive our offering, please watch the screen for instructions on how you may offer financial support during this time. To offer other gifts, please join the discussion online and contact our fellowship via email, web, or phone to get involved. We are reminded that love is the currency of our community. Love built the fires we are warmed by. Love planted the trees that shade us. WHUUF exists because of the generous spirit and commitment of those who came before, as our future health depends on the dedication and commitment of those of us here now. Perhaps you will show your love with a monetary offering, or you will consider other gifts that you have to offer. We are grateful for them all. Let us be grateful when we are able to give, for many do not have that privilege. Let us be grateful for all those who share their gifts with us, for we are enriched by their giving. And let us be grateful even for our needs, so that we may learn from the generosity of others. Thank you for all your offerings this morning in support of our ministries and our mission.
us go into the rest of our day with our joy, ready to serve and heal a hurting world. We extinguish this flame, but not the warmth of our community or our commitment to its values. These we hold in our hearts until we meet again.
Carry the flame of peace and love until we meet